Have you ever noticed how some people remain calm even in the middle of chaos, while others lose control at the smallest inconvenience? Imagine facing problems, criticism, or even tragedy. And yet your mind stays unshaken, your heart stays strong, and your decisions stay wise. That is the power of Stoicism, a philosophy that teaches us not just how to survive challenges, but how to master them with calmness, clarity, and strength. Today, I'm going to share with you 10 powerful Stoic principles that will train your mind to stay calm no matter what happens. If you practice these, I promise your life will never be the same again. Before we dive in, let's understand one thing. Stoicism is not about suppressing your emotions. It's not about pretending you don't feel pain or sadness. Instead, Stoicism teaches us how to respond with reason instead of reaction, with calmness instead of chaos, with wisdom instead of weakness. The Stoic philosophers, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, lived in times far harsher than ours. Wars, plagues, slavery, betrayal, they faced it all. And yet, they wrote words of peace, discipline, and calm that still guide us today. So, if you've been struggling with anxiety, anger, overthinking, or simply feeling overwhelmed, listen carefully, because these 10 Stoic lessons will teach you how to stay calm no matter what happens. The very foundation of Stoicism lies in one simple truth. Some things are in our control and some things are not. If you forget everything else, just remember this one principle and your life will transform. Think about it. How much of your stress comes from worrying about things outside your control? The weather, traffic, other people's opinions, your boss's mood, the past, or even the future. These are things you simply cannot control. But what you can control is your own response, your choices, your mindset, and your actions in this very moment. Epictetus once said, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." Imagine being stuck in traffic. You can either get angry, honk, and waste your energy, or you can use that time to listen to an audiobook, practice gratitude, or simply breathe calmly. The traffic won't change, but your state of mind can. The next time you feel stressed, pause and ask yourself, is this within my control or not? If it's not, let it go. If it is, take action. Think of life like a chessboard. You can't control your opponent's moves, but you can control yours. If you focus only on what you control, you'll always play wisely, calmly, and with strength. The second principle is the art of acceptance, amor fati, which means love your fate. Life will never go exactly as you planned. You'll face disappointments, rejections, failures, and losses. Most people fight against these realities, asking, why me? Why did this have to happen? But the Stoics teach something radically different. Don't just accept your fate. Learn to love it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it." Whatever life throws at you, pain, suffering, obstacles, you can transform it into fuel for your growth. Imagine working hard for a promotion, but someone else gets it. The average person complains and stays bitter, but a Stoic says, "This is life. Maybe it's not the right time for me. Maybe this setback is a lesson." Acceptance doesn't mean weakness. It means you don't waste energy wishing reality was different. Instead, you adapt and keep moving. Every morning, remind yourself, today, something unexpected will happen, and I will accept it calmly. When you stop resisting life, you stop suffering. Amor fati, love your fate, and it will set you free. The third principle is mastering your emotions before they master you. Anger, jealousy, fear, anxiety, these emotions are natural, but if you let them control you, they destroy your peace. Seneca said, "He who angers you conquers you." Every time you lose your temper, you hand over your power. If someone insults you and you explode, they win. If someone cuts you off in traffic and you spend the next hour fuming, they own your peace of mind. But if you remain calm, they lose all control over you. Calmness is true power. To master emotions, create space between stimulus and response. Something happens, you feel anger rising, but instead of reacting, you pause, breathe, and ask, will this matter a year from now? Most of the time, the answer is no. Practice reviewing your day each night. Where did you lose your temper? Where did fear control you? Over time, You'll catch these emotions before they control you. Storms will always come, but you can be the calm center, unshaken by the winds. The fourth principle is focusing on the present moment. The past is gone. The future is uncertain. The only moment you truly own is now. Yet most of us live trapped in regrets about yesterday or worries about tomorrow. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present. Life is like standing in a river. You can't hold on to the water that passed. You can't grab the water that hasn't arrived. The only water you can touch is the water flowing right now." The same is true with life. When you eat, put away your phone and focus on the food. When you walk, notice the air, the sky, the sounds. These small acts of mindfulness bring calmness. The past can't hurt you anymore. The future hasn't arrived yet. Peace is found here in the present. The fifth principle is practicing negative visualization. It may sound strange, but the Stoics often imagine the worst-case scenario on purpose. Not because they were pessimists, but because it prepared their minds to stay calm in any situation. Epictetus called this premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. For example, before traveling, imagine delays, bad weather, or lost luggage. If it happens, you're calm. If it doesn't, you're grateful. Before meeting someone, imagine they might criticize you. If they do, you're not shocked. If they don't, you're happy. This practice makes you resilient. Instead of being blindsided, you face challenges like a warrior who already knew they were coming. Each morning, write down one possible challenge you may face today and prepare mentally. The person who expects everything to go smoothly is fragile, but the person who prepares for difficulty is unshakable. The sixth principle is understanding impermanence and the shortness of life. Everything you worry about today will one day fade. Every problem you face will one day pass, and even your own life is temporary. The Stoics constantly reminded themselves of mortality, not to feel depressed, but to feel empowered. This practice was called memento mori. Remember that you must die. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think." Instead of seeing death as something to fear, Stoics saw it as the ultimate teacher. If life is short, why waste it in anger? If tomorrow is uncertain, why spend a day in worry? By remembering impermanence, you learn to stay calm in chaos because you know everything passes. The bad day, the failure, the heartbreak, nothing lasts forever. When you internalize this truth, patience grows, acceptance deepens, and gratitude fills your heart. Practical application. Every morning, remind yourself, this day is a gift. I may not have another. I will not waste it on things beyond my control. This thought doesn't create fear. It creates calm urgency to live wisely. The seventh principle is self-discipline and voluntary discomfort. We often lose calmness because we are too attached to comfort. A small inconvenience makes us angry. A small loss makes us anxious. But the Stoics trained themselves to remain calm by deliberately practicing discomfort. Seneca advised his students to sometimes eat plain food, wear simple clothes, or sleep on the ground, just to remind themselves they could handle it. When you choose discomfort, you build resilience. Modern application. Take a cold shower once in a while. Fast for a day. Put yourself in situations that challenge your comfort zone. When you practice voluntary discomfort, real discomfort doesn't shake you. Imagine someone who always sleeps on a soft bed, and one night they have to sleep on the floor. They'll be restless. But someone who has trained themselves will remain calm. Discipline builds inner strength, and with strength comes calmness. The eighth principle is focusing on virtue over outcome. Most of our anxiety comes from being obsessed with results. Will I succeed? Will I fail? Will others approve? But Stoics taught that calmness comes from focusing only on your virtue, your actions, your character, your effort, rather than outcomes. You can control your effort, not the results. You can control your honesty, courage, kindness, and discipline, not how people react. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it." This means don't worry about convincing the world. Worry about living with integrity. Imagine you're preparing for an exam. A non-Stoic worries endlessly about the grade. A Stoic focuses on studying with discipline, knowing that the outcome is not fully in their hands. This removes pressure and anxiety. In business, in relationships, in sports, Focus on what you can give, not what you will get. Virtue creates calmness because you are never chained to results. You are anchored in your own actions. The ninth principle is practicing gratitude daily. Gratitude is one of the fastest ways to calm the mind. The Stoics constantly reminded themselves of the blessings they already had instead of complaining about what they lacked. Seneca wrote, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for things which he is not, but rejoices for those which he has." Think about it. Right now, you have things someone else is praying for. Food, shelter, health, freedom. These are gifts we take for granted. Gratitude turns chaos into calmness because it shifts focus from loss to abundance. Practical application. Each night, write down 3 things you are grateful for. They don't have to be big. A smile from a stranger, a good meal, a moment of laughter, all count. Over time, gratitude rewires your brain to focus on peace rather than problems. The 10th and final principle is living in harmony with nature and universal reason. The Stoics believe we are all part of a greater whole, a universe governed by natural laws. When we fight against those laws, we suffer. But when we align ourselves with nature, accepting change, embracing simplicity, and living with integrity, we find calmness. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that he was just a small part of a vast universe, and that his personal troubles were nothing compared to the grand order of nature. This perspective makes your problems shrink. That embarrassing mistake, that financial setback, they are tiny compared to the flow of the cosmos. Harmony with nature means accepting life's rhythm. Day and night, growth and decay, gain and loss. When you see yourself as part of this natural cycle, you stop resisting and start flowing. And in that flow, you find peace. And now, my friend, let's bring it all together. Calmness is not something you're born with. It's something you build through daily practice of these Stoic principles. Control what you can and let go of what you cannot. Love your fate and embrace acceptance. Master your emotions before they master you. Focus only on the present moment. Prepare your mind with negative visualization. Remember impermanence and the shortness of life. Build self-discipline through voluntary discomfort. Focus on virtue, not outcome. Practice gratitude every single day. And finally, live in harmony with the natural order of life. If you make these lessons part of your life, no storm will shake you, no insult will break you, and no failure will define you. You will become calm. Not because life is easy, but because you've trained your mind to remain steady no matter what happens. And that, my friend, is true freedom. So the next time chaos comes knocking, remember, you have a choice: to react with fear or to respond with calm, to be a victim of circumstances or to be the master of your mind. The Stoics chose calmness. What will you choose?